Hey everyone, Steve here, and in today's video I wanted to talk to you about a painful experience I had to go through that I wish someone could have told me about way back, and I could have avoided spending countless hours and lots of money. Before I go on, I should say that this is part of a wider series, so please do check out the tutorial video I've got lined up at the end of this if this is right for you. If not, no worries, check out another video on this channel. But I wanted to run through 11 things that I wish I'd known before I got started with email marketing and the software. So let's get started. So the first one is that affiliate commissions are large for email marketing software. What does this mean for you? Well, it means that the people who are talking about it the most are likely making large commissions. Now, that doesn't mean that the software is bad as such, but it does mean that there is a strong incentive there for them to talk about it. Now, full disclosure, I am an affiliate for a piece of email marketing software we'll talk about later, but the point there is that you just have to remember that they get a kickback, or all affiliates get a kickback. So how honest are they being about the software? Just think about that, because they're telling you how great it is, but it's also great for them because it makes a lot of money and it's very lucrative. It's just something you need to be aware of because it is really lucrative for people to promote. The next one is that actually free email marketing software sucks. I mean, I've been there. I started with MailChimp and then I just hated it. It was so hard to use. It was so difficult. I really couldn't do it. Like, I could do it, but I didn't want to spend the time. It was one of these platforms that just got in the way all the time of everything I did. And so I ended up leaving pretty soon after. It repelled me. Since I left, they've actually added autoresponder sequences, but even so, it was so unintuitive, so hard to use, and just for me, so counterintuitive, if you like, that I just couldn't handle it. I had to get out of there. And I ended up actually going to ConvertKit, which is the one I'm an affiliate for, because ConvertKit was so much easier to use. MailChimp, everything was a barrier, okay? Everything was a barrier, and it just wasn't pleasant. So think about that. Even though it saves you money, it might not save you time. It might have a huge impact on your time spent doing things. So one thing to consider. Another one I would say for email marketing software is that an all-in-one solution is a must. And what I mean by that is one that's got opt-in forms and landing pages, as well as autoresponder sequences. Now the last one's pretty standard for all of them, but the opt-in forms, you know, the things that, let's say, pop up, try and capture your email, give away freebies, and also the landing pages. Not all email marketing software has had that traditionally. More and more are offering it now, but there was a while where you had to actually pay for another service. Now it's a little bit different to lead pages. That's more its own product, but let's say Opt-in Monster was one I used before. Then you end up paying for two. One thing I really liked again about ConvertKit, my own experience, was that ConvertKit had it all in one. So much easier, much more just streamlined for me. Also saving costs, but again, less learning because it was all connected. I didn't need to integrate the platforms. So for me, that was a huge thing. Now, coming on to sort of thinking about email marketing software, I was sold on the idea of autoresponders, but you need to realize they don't guarantee sales, right? Just because you can send out these automated emails in a sequence to people doesn't mean anybody's going to buy anything. Now, obviously, the more subscribers you have, the more you do it, the better you can get at it. But I was sort of led to believe by a lot of these gurus and so on that if I just set it all up, everyone would sign up, people would buy. That's not really the case. Like, you've got to structure it well. You've got to think about how you do it. And even then, they might not buy. Okay, so don't think that automation is going to solve all your problems. It won't. It will help if you have an idea of what you want to do with it, but it isn't this silver bullet, okay, that's going to do everything for you. So just be aware of that before you jump in. And that leads on to my next point, really, that strategy is still crucial. Even if you've got this expensive software, you still need a strategy behind it. Just throwing emails at people isn't going to help. You've got to figure out how you're going to do it. And I would suggest you do that in advance, right? Because you don't want to be, like I was, lumped with this software that you barely know how to use. And it's like, oh, I've actually got to figure out strategy now. I've just paid up, whatever. And now I actually have to do the hard work. Really, you want to figure that out in advance. Map it out on a piece of paper, whatever it is. But I would figure out your strategy in advance of buying any of the software, or even in advance of using the free MailChimp stuff if you're going down that route. So definitely something else to think about there. The next point is that a lead magnet or a giveaway is still a lot of work to create. Now, everybody says just put an opt-in form, give them a free ebook, get them on your list. It's not really like that, right? A free ebook, that's a lot of work. So again, this is something you should be doing in advance. It doesn't have to be like a book that you would want to sell. It could be 15 pages or something, but even 15 pages for you to present something that you are happy with, it's still work. So even though a lot of, again, these big industry influencers talk about it like it's nothing, it's going to take you a long time. So be aware of that time commitment and that effort just to get a free lead gen item out there. It does take a lot longer than you think, and it's still a decent amount of work. And this one, now I look at it, I can't believe I just jumped in, head first without even thinking about this. But lots of emails going to subscribers generate lots of replies, because part of the appeal of email marketing is you can feel that much more authentic. Okay, maybe not so much as on YouTube, but you can send customized emails to people. Okay, maybe it's a bit of a mail merge approach, but people feel like you're sending them to them. And I had so many subscribers in the past when they would just say, oh, thank you for sending this. I haven't caught up on all your emails, thinking I was actually doing it because it was convincing. But the problem is, unless you've got some way of dealing with all those replies, maybe a customer service agent or some virtual assistant, what do? Do you ignore them? Or do you just respond to everything and spend your entire time on email? So just because you can automate the process and send out a lot doesn't mean it's something you really want to do at this stage. Definitely remember that as you're going through these steps. And also, we talked a little bit about automation. Things can get complicated, there's no doubt, right? If you're trying to automate the processes, put users into funnels that then receive emails on this date and then unsubscribe if they click this link, it can get confusing. Now again, I've got a full tutorial after this about ConvertKit if you want to check that out to give you an idea of how to do these things. But if you just listen to people talk about it, it's like just, create your funnel here and there and automate this, and it really can get quite complex. So again, strategy comes into it, but also thinking about it in advance and not just going along, jumping in headfirst blindly like I did. Great idea. But that should really help if you start to keep things simple and also try to map out your processes. And the next one, you're probably getting this already, but really wait until you're ready. There's no point going in for email marketing software if you're not ready. Like I said, if you haven't got the money, you end up on the free stuff. It's hard to use. If you haven't got time to make the lead magnet, then that's going to slow you down. People aren't going to just want to subscribe for updates, really, right? It's not that appealing. Some might, but not many. And all the while, time is ticking and people aren't really getting that much value if you haven't prepared it in advance as well. So wait until you're ready. There's no point getting email marketing software if you haven't got any visitors to your website even. Like, you're going to be spending all this money and people aren't going to be seeing it because they just aren't the numbers. So a better approach would be to focus on your content instead. And this, from my own experience, I would say make a product first. Instead of getting email marketing software, which you're paying for month on month, make your product, because your product could take you a year to make, right? So if you've got email marketing software, there's a cost. It's one thing to capture emails, but how long are those people going to be in your ecosystem interested? Like, there's very few industries where you can keep people's attention for a very long time. I had a website before, still got it, but in like a course preparation niche, and I didn't realize just how quickly people would come through. People would mostly come through 2 months before, and my autoresponder sequences maybe lasted 2 months, and then I was trying to push into a product right at the end of it when they were probably already past it with a short course that was only a month long. So it just didn't fit. So you've got to really consider that point as well. And I would definitely say make your product first before you put money down on email marketing software. And something I've already touched on, really, the last point is that your bills will mount up quickly. If you're trying to do email marketing on a budget and you're not outsourcing content, it's all on you, maybe, side hustle part-time, the cost is going to rack up. There's no doubt. I couldn't believe how quickly it mounted up. Every month that's going to come through. Now you can dedicate a lot of time to it, but it's still going to take you a good few months to get used to it. And as I said before, prepare the things you need in advance. You could start writing the emails in advance. You don't need to have the software to be able to write the emails. It definitely helps to see the functionality, but there's so much you could do in advance of actually buying the software. So if I were you, I'd be very wary about buying email marketing software before you are good and ready, because like I said, a lot of people generating a lot of money from selling it, but if you're not ready for it, don't do it. You don't need it at this point. However, if you're watching this video and you actually are ready and you feel like you're about to jump in, you've got you've got an audience, you want to get subscribers, you've got visitors to your content, you've got a decent amount of content, you've got your product ideas, you've got some starting points for that, then definitely watch my ConvertKit full tutorial course as the next thing you do, because that will show you all about ConvertKit, the email marketing software that I recommend and I find particularly easy to use. But like I said, if you're not ready for it, then hold. If you are, do check it out and make sure that's the next thing you do on here. So I'll see you in another video, and thanks for watching. Bye.